Hey everyone, Real Mama Eagle here, also known as Key, and you're probably wondering why I'm wearing a Team Rocket outfit today. Well, I'm wearing it because Team Rocket likes to stir up chaos, and that's what I'll be doing in today's video. In this video, we'll be talking about 10 Pokemon that I find incredibly overrated. Keep in mind, the Pokemon in this video are not necessarily bad Pokemon, and I have used them, just Pokemon that may be a little bit overhyped by the fan base. Before you drag me in the comment section below, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. Number 10, the Forces of Nature Pokemon. Now, everyone that knows me knows I love Gen 5 and all of its legendaries, but the Forces of Nature Pokemon, Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus, can all definitely be seen as overrated Pokemon. For starters, they give off this appearance like they're strong, godly, major, tough Pokemon, but if you look at their stats, they all suffer from low HP, low defense, and low special defense, which makes them pretty easy to beat in battle. Now, I will give Landorus a bit of an edge over the other two because Flying and Ground is a phenomenal typing, but with Tornadus and Thundurus specifically, a lot of weaknesses and very easy to take down. Secondly, if you look at their appearance, they don't really give off a Pokemon vibe to you as far as design. They look very tough. They almost look human-esque. Black and White 2's Therian forms did save them a bit, but between appearance and overrated as far as strength, it definitely makes those Pokemon very overrated. Number 9, Regigigas. Ooh, try saying that 3 times fast. Regigigas is a normal type Pokemon introduced in Gen 4, and I actually do like the lore with it as far as tying all the other elemental Regis together in harmony. That's pretty cool, but what doesn't make sense to me about Regigigas is its typing. If you look at its moveset, you have all these amazing physical and great special moves, but then you make it normal type. And that doesn't even line up at all with its design. If you really look at Regigigas close up, it has this weird mechanic steel-like body, which you can interpret for being maybe an electric or steel type Pokemon, but then you go down to its feet and there's grass shrubs. Okay. Like, I kind of get where they were going with as far as that, but to give it normal typing made no sense to me. So all these great special attack and physical attack moves that you have, the power isn't maximized as much because it's normal type. It was just one of those Pokemon where it makes sense in theory, but the typing made absolutely no sense. I'm not sure what Game Freak was going for with that, but its typing makes it very, very overrated. Number 8, Lincoln Rock. Now, this really hurts my soul because Lincoln Rock is actually one of my favorite Pokemon in the Gen 7 Pokedex, and it's so freaking cute, and its Midnight and Dusk forms are amazing, but unfortunately, when you use a Pokemon a certain amount of times, you learn how either great or bad it is, and it's so bad learn set wise. It's a shame too because it's such a tough and intimidating looking rock Pokemon, and then they give it such crap or mediocre moves like Rock Throw, Rock Slide, Crunch. And don't get me wrong, Rock Slide and Crunch have pretty good solid base power when they attack, but its next great move it learns is Stone Edge at level 60. So you're basically learning a couple of dark and rock moves, which makes it very one-dimensional in battle to multiple types. And it's a shame. I feel like they could have given it some ground moves to supplement everything else, and you can teach your ground moves with TMs, but its natural learn set left a lot to be desired, and it makes it very overrated. Such a shame. Number 7, Heracross. Now, I know this is tough to hear because Heracross is a fan favorite and also one of my favorite Pokemon too, but there are a lot of things that will make Heracross very overrated. Let's start with the learn set, and I'm talking about the original Gen 2 learn set. So if you have a Heracross in Gen 2, you've probably gone through the struggle of having a hard time figuring out what moves to teach you because you don't get many TMs, but leveling up Heracross learns Counter at 27. I mean, if you like Counter, that's fine, but it's so dependent on what another Pokemon does, but it doesn't learn another fighting move in Reversal until 44, and the only bug move it learns is Mega Horn at 55, which makes absolutely no sense. So you have this great Pokemon that has a limited amount of moves that it specializes in, which is a drag. Now, they did fix it a bit in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but for some reason they decided to give Heracross Pen Missile, which is very low in base power. Why did they do that? And then they give you Close Combat Mega Horn, but at levels 55 and 60 respectively. What also makes Heracross a bit overrated is a stat. It's incredibly slow as far as speed, and its special attack is very low. You have this great, powerful looking bug and fighting Pokemon that has a ton of potential, and then you give it crappy moves and crappy stat. And then to add insult to injury, if you're in Gen 2 trying to find a Heracross, you're headbutting trees for like 30 minutes because it's very hard to encounter in the original Gen 2. I love Heracross, but definitely one of my most overrated Pokemon. Number 6, Zygarde. I know a lot of people use Zygarde in Gen 6 and Gen 7, but I was actually not one of those people. It's definitely overrated to me for a couple reasons. For starters, the lack of lore in Gen 6 around Zygarde when it was basically the 3rd legendary you caught in the game. There really wasn't any build up to it. You didn't really hear a lot of people talking about it. I just wish there was more of a chase or some more of a story around it. You just go into a cave at the end of the game and Zygarde's like, hey, what's up? Catch me. Besides that, I would also say I've always been a little bit disturbed by Zygarde's design. I don't know about y'all, but when I look at Zygarde, I see some twisted evil snake with wings looking like it's gonna eat me alive and spit out my soul. I know that's a bit dark, but that's just how I feel. I will say this, that though the Gen 7 did save Zygarde's lore with the different pieces and making in different forms, which did make Zygarde salvageable to me. Also in battle, I would say Zygarde is pretty overrated as far as strength, because if you have a fairy Pokemon, dragon Pokemon, or ice Pokemon, you can easily take out Zygarde. So in those aspects, it's very overrated, and to be honest, this is probably why we didn't get a Pokemon Z. Number 5, the 3 legendary dogs. Now, before you cancel me and call me a terrible person in the comments below, I do want to preface this by saying that I think Entei, Raikou, and Suicune are 3 of the best designed legendaries ever. I do love their designs. I think they're phenomenal that way. But there are other reasons why I call them very overrated. Let's start with the learn sets, and let's start with Entei. So Entei's original Gen 2 learn set is pretty crappy. It basically learns a bunch of fire moves and stomp and bite. So for a legendary that's very intimidating, you don't have a lot of great moves to really supplement that with. Raikou's moveset is really not that much better. It learns Spark, Thunder, and Crunch. Not enough variety. And then you go to Suicune, whose best moves are Aurora Beam and Hydro Pump. So not a lot of versatility. Your best bet is to basically teach them all great moves with TMs. So my learn set issue has always been a big pet peeve with these 3 in Gen 2. The other thing that makes them overrated for me is the chase of them. Now, don't get me wrong. It's really cool when you go into the tower and you release all 3. And I like the fact that you can interact with Suicune personally and catch it in Gen 2 and Crystal. But the fact that like you have to chase Raikou and Entei around, hope that you get some lucky magical encounter with them, is really, really frustrating. And it's even more frustrating if your Pokemon are underleveled or don't have mean luck. So they basically just see you and they run, and then you have to track them and hope that they're on that route to get them. So the chase of them and their learn sets definitely make them very overrated to me. I still love them, but we definitely, as a Pokemon fan base, may have hyped them a bit over the years. Just a little. Number 4, Pikachu. Now, this is going to make even more heads roll, but I definitely find Pikachu overrated for multiple reasons. Now, don't get me wrong, Pikachu's been the face of Pokemon forever, and a casual person that's never seen a Pokemon movie or played a Pokemon game knows who Pikachu is. But that's part of the reason Pikachu's overrated, because Pikachu's plastered everywhere. Casual Pokemon fans and people that have watched the anime seem to think that Pikachu is a much better Pokemon than it is. Unfortunately, Pikachu suffers from very bad stats all around in HP, defense, attack, special defense. It's got one of the lower base stat totals of all the Pokemon, so very overrated and bad in battle. You almost have to evolve Pikachu to make it very good. I will say that I do love Raichu and I do love Aloha and Raichu, so they did save it. But I also hate the fact that with Pikachu, it's sort of pandered to in every generation. It's the only Pokemon that can actually talk in the game, which shows a lot of favoritism. A lot of great other Pokemon that could definitely have that ability, they just chose not to give it to it. But the over pandering since Gen 1, them forcing Pikachu in every game, is what has made it overrated, just because we've been overexposed to it. I do want to say that in general, I actually find Pikachu very charming and very cute, and I get why it's the face of Pokemon, but the anime has also made us think Pikachu is better than it is. You have Pikachu in the anime beating Pokemon type-wise it absolutely should not beat. You're seeing Pikachu take down Pokemon that have ground moves, which would otherwise destroy it. So there's really no logic in that sense, and definitely skews people's opinions. But yeah, Pikachu is very overrated. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Number 3. Gyarados. Yes, I'm going for another fan favorite, but I actually do love Gyarados, love its design. I love the fact that it's got that old school dragon vibe, but that's the problem. You made it look like a dragon game freak, but you didn't give it dragon typing, and that is one of the main reasons why Gyarados is so overrated. I don't know if they were just afraid that they would make Gyarados too OP by not giving it dragon type in Gen 1, but there are still other special attacks and other moves you could have used to take it down. But instead, you decided to give it flying typing, which gives you that double weakness to electric, and now you add in a rock weakness that you didn't really need to have but is now there. So the fact that you do that makes no sense. And then it learns dragon moves, can learn every dragon move essentially without dragon typing. So that has always been a pet peeve. Gyarados is definitely portrayed as a very unbeatable, strong Pokemon that can actually be taken down pretty easily and is mistyped. It's a great Pokemon, but very, very overrated. Number 2. Dragonite. Now I can feel the anger in the comment section below, but I appreciate the discourse, so let's talk about why I think Dragonite's overrated. Let's start with this original Gen 1 learn set. For starters, it's crap. Dragonite's best moves in Gen 1 are Slam, Dragon Rage, which is not a real dragon move, and it doesn't learn Hyper Beam until level 60. This means that if you're playing with a Dragonite, you may get to the Elite Four and never learn Hyper Beam, so that's something that can limit you. So your best bet with a Dragonite in Gen 1 is to teach it a bunch of random TM moves to help you get through a battle, but it doesn't learn anything unique to its type because Gen 1 didn't give it a lot of dragon moves because they didn't exist. I think that Dragonite is hyped purely because it was the only dragon Pokemon in Gen 1, and that naturally made people attach to it and give it some sort of hype. I also was never a big fan of Dragonite's design. I do think it's very cute, but it's giving dragon tails, and I never believed that those small wings could lift Dragonite up into the air. Come on, are you kidding me? The good news is that they did buff Dragonite's moveset in later generations, gave it some water moves, fire moves, some other variety in it, so it's definitely more playable now than it was then, but that does make Dragonite overrated. I'm sorry. Number 1, Charizard. Now, I know this is the hottest take of all and probably going to get a lot of negative attention. And I love Charizard, y'all. I really do. I use it in every single playthrough of Gen 1 because it's my favorite starter of the three, but Charizard's definitely overrated. It suffers from Gyarados syndrome where it was simply just given the wrong typing. I hate the fact that they made Charizard fire and flying and not fire and dragon, which makes no sense to me because if you look at Charizard, definitely resembles a dragon. I don't know, again, if they were just afraid to make it too OP by making it fire and dragon, but the fact that it can learn dragon moves and is not a dragon makes no sense. Also, why couldn't Charizard fly in red and blue? That makes absolutely no sense. Charizard's typing basically sets it up for a bunch of extra weaknesses. You have the electric weakness, the rock weakness, and the water weakness, which actually makes Charizard a lot more easier to take down in battle than you think. And a lot of people hype Charizard up as OP despite having those weaknesses. Now, I will say Charizard X is amazing and I love it in Pokemon X and Y, but Charizard in battle in general, not really much of a sweat to take down. It also suffers from Pikachu syndrome where they almost pander to it in every generation. They always find some way to make it available, or they find some way to make it the mascot, or just pander to it in some sort of way. So it's almost like it's overexposed and overdone at this point. Love Charizard, but definitely one of the most overrated Pokemon of all time. Do you agree or disagree with my most overrated Pokemon? I'm sure you disagree with some of them, and that's totally okay. Talk to me in the comments section down below and let me know what Pokemon you think are very overrated in the Pokemon franchise. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and keep in mind I do stream on Twitch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/RealMamaEagle. Thank you so much today for watching. I had a ton of fun with this video, and I will see you next time.